think this is loud now. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Fletcher. I will give a big round of applause to Fletcher and Jamie and all the other people that helped make Spark happen this year. I actually wrote down everybody's names, but they're on my phone, so sorry about that. But everybody else has helped out. You guys are awesome, particularly the students. Last year, I talked a little bit about believing in students. Does anyone remember that? How important it is to believe in students, and how Spark wouldn't have even come into existence if we didn't believe, if someone didn't believe in students. The first group that believed in students was Archer Bay. They're now represented by Modus Law. But they gave us startup capital and gave us the credibility we needed to make Spark happen. And then every one of these other logos on the walls represent people who believed in students enough to help make Spark happen. So let's give them a round of applause. And when we believe in students, it changes our behavior. When faculty and staff at CU believe in students, they tear down the silos of education and they build up collaboration. When community members believe in students, they hire students and they invest in students. And when students believe in themselves, they party less and they work harder. They dream bigger, and they change the world. And I really believe that when you try to change the world, you end up actually changing the world. So what I want to talk about this year, if I could just take a couple minutes, is that cool? Is I want to talk a little bit more about inspiring students to believe in themselves, because what really excites me about tonight is that almost everybody I see, well, a lot of people here are students, or at least student age. Is that correct? Raise your hand if you're a student right now. See, that is awesome. Big round of applause for students. So I believe in students because I was once a student entrepreneur. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story. In 2006, I flew to Korea and bought 2,000 neckties. Brought them back to the States and did everything I could to sell these neckties. It was crazy hard. I went door to door. I talked to everybody I knew. I found out really quickly you can't sell $10 neckties, but you can sell $20 neckties. Not sure why. But I also found out that everybody wanted me to have a website. And one day I was in a Big Lots, and on the shelf was this box, and it said, build your own website. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I looked at the price tag and it was $150. That was expensive as a student. And luckily this wasn't a particularly good seller, and so it was discounted 95%. So I ended up walking out of the store with a $10 build your own website box, which was kind of hard to even talk my wife into buying that. But I went home, I built the most amazingly ugly website I've ever seen since. It was horrible. And I tried to do everything I could to get people to this website. I joined forums, I posted links, I told everybody I could about it. I even made a how to tie a tie necktie video, posted on YouTube, and that took a long time. And at the end I was like, man, that was a failure, because nobody came to my website, nobody bought neckties. Well, fast forward 3 years and I get an email from YouTube and they say, hey, we want you to join our partnership program and we'll pay you to have people watch your video. And I was like, well, great, because up to this point I've just been letting everybody watch it for free. And so I said yes, and ended up graduating from my undergrad, worked in corporate America a little bit, and then I came to CU because I wanted to transition back into entrepreneurship. And by the time I came to CU, this little business I had started had grown to be bringing in thousands of dollars a month in revenue and profit. And I thought that was really cool because if I hadn't have done that first startup, I never would have been able to get through my studies at CU for my graduate degree. And I really wanted to launch a startup while at CU. And that first startup helped me launch the second startup. And the second startup eventually failed, but it helped me get my first job out of school, which helped me be where I am today, where last week I quit my job. Woo! Yeah! The only place probably in the country that you can get an applause for being unemployed. But I quit my job, and now I'm working on my third startup. And so the reason I wanted to share this story is because it's not an amazing entrepreneur story. It's me doing what I could through the years, making entrepreneurial decisions, making startup decisions. But as I look back, those decisions were the best financial decisions I ever made in my career. And so that's the thought I leave you with is I believe in you, students at CU, because I was once a student, and I know that if we try our hardest and push towards our entrepreneurial dreams, that they will be your best decisions, just like they were mine. So in conclusion, a week ago, Richard Branson, who's a famous entrepreneur, he said, he tweeted that if you're under 25, you should launch a startup. And then he linked to a website that talked about how if under 25 you have more time than you'll ever have in the future, you have less bills than you'll ever have in the future, and you have more energy than you'll ever have in the future. And I would add to that right now under 25, launching a startup will be the best career choice you have among your many career choices. And so, that's really all I had to say. I believe in you, students at CU, and we all do. Spark does. The reason Spark exists is because we want to see you guys go change the world and make a difference. And thank you for that.